Na 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 na. Na 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 na. To everyone who's listening to this podcast for the first time, my name is Kayla Glaze, and I'm a singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, music producer, and music mixer living in Nashville, Tennessee. First of all, if you are listening to this podcast, I want to say thank you so much for listening. My hope is that you would experience this podcast as a safe space where you feel understood in your personal processes when it comes to pursuing your goals and your dreams. Not only that, but I hope you feel equipped and inspired to actually take the practical steps that you've been wanting and needing to take towards actually seeing those dreams become a reality in your life. So, who am I and why did I decide to start this podcast? So, ever since I can remember, I've always been a really big dreamer. I've always had really big goals and big dreams, and I've always felt like I just wanted to do the impossible. I've been actively pursuing music since I was in elementary school. That means I've been pursuing music for over 20 years. And so I have 20 years of experiences and personal processes in pursuing this dream of having a career in music. I've had some wins and some really exciting times, and I've also had some losses and some really challenging times. Through my hard work, I've gained some achievements, like I've landed some sync licensing contracts with some sync licensing companies, and my music is now getting pitched for TV and film placements. I ended up landing a song in CBS's music library last year in 2021, but I've also experienced major rejections. I've been turned down by playlist curators. I've been scouted and invited to private auditions with American Idol and The Voice and have been rejected by both multiple times. But something that I've noticed is that as I have pursued my goals and my dreams with music, I've actually had a lot of people personally message me and tell me that watching me pursue my goals and dreams with music relentlessly has actually inspired and motivated them to pursue their own goals and dreams. I've also had people tell me that they let certain dreams that they had die for different reasons. Those reasons could have been that they didn't feel good enough, or someone put them down, or someone made them feel like they weren't capable of achieving that dream. Or they actually did put themselves out there and then experienced something negative that caused them to shut that dream down. And I've personally experienced a lot of the same things. And something that I wish pretty consistently is that successful people would be more vulnerable and transparent and honest about the processes that they had to go through in order to gain the success that they have today. I'm not saying that some don't, because some do, and I'm a really big fan of watching documentaries and interviews with people to hear those stories. But that's something that I really want to do through this podcast. I want to be brutally honest with people about my own processes in pursuing my dreams with music, because I know that other people are experiencing the same things, the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same challenges. And at first I was like, well, what credibility do I have in starting this podcast? I haven't fully achieved the success that I want to achieve with music yet. But then I realized that's the point. I feel like I'm kind of sitting in this space where it feels like I have one foot over here and one foot over here. And on this side, I've gained some achievements through my hard work. I've gained some awesome connections with people. I've gone to music retreats where I've met Grammy award-winning mentors in the music industry. I'm in a couple of phenomenal music mentorship groups where I've become connected to some really legit people in the music industry. I've gained sync licensing contracts. I've landed a song in CBS's music library. Those feel like really amazing achievements. But my dreams are so big that there are some things that I actually still dream about that have not happened yet and that I haven't achieved yet. One of my biggest dreams would be to be a world touring artist. I definitely haven't achieved that yet. And so I actually think right now is the perfect time for me to be starting this podcast. Like, I would rather start it right now than start it when I've already accomplished all of those things. You know, I'd rather start it now when I'm in this space of experiencing the thoughts and feelings and processes of realizing I haven't achieved all of the things that I want to yet. And I'm 30 years old, and not to say that age matters, but I think a lot of us have expectations that we're going to achieve these massive dreams by the time we're 25. And then when that doesn't happen, it can feel discouraging. And I have my own processes and everything that has to do with that specifically. But I feel like I'm in the best place right now to start this podcast because I'm in the space of experiencing and feeling what I know a lot of other people are probably feeling and experiencing. A lot of people start podcasts when they become really successful. But I want to be someone who creates a space for everyone else listening who still feels like they're not there yet, because I'm not there yet. So that's what this podcast is going to be about. It's going to be about choosing to be courageous and pursuing your dreams. Through it, I'm going to share a lot of my own personal processes. I'm also going to talk specifically about practical steps that you can take towards seeing your dreams become a reality. This podcast is for people who feel stuck. It's for people who feel like they don't know how to get from point A to point B when it comes to pursuing their dreams. So I'm going to give you practical steps as to how you can actually do that. I'm also going to be unpacking the stories of successful people in this podcast through episodes called Learning from Legends. I'm going to do a deep dive into things that they did that actually helped them get to the place of achieving the success that they either had or now have. And I'm also going to do a deep dive into the things that they chose to do that maybe weren't the most beneficial choices. I'm also going to be doing Q&A episodes. So how this is going to work is people can actually email in their questions that they would like to hear answered in a podcast episode. And then I will actually do podcast episodes where I answer those questions. If you'd like to email me a question you have specifically related to either my own personal process with pursuing my dreams or just pursuing dreams in general, you can email that question to me at info@daretodream.me. Please make sure in the email that you include your name and where you're from, because I would love to give you a little shout out on my podcast episode. Another thing that I'm going to be doing on this podcast is interviewing people who have either already achieved big dreams that they wanted to achieve, or people who are actually still pursuing dreams that they feel like they have yet to achieve. And I also want to state that this podcast is not solely music related. This is about pursuing dreams in general. So I'm going to be talking to and interviewing people from all fields of society. I'm also going to be unpacking the stories of successful people from all fields of society. And I would love to hear your questions, even if you're not involved in music, but you have a dream in a different field of society. I would still love to hear your questions and your thoughts and your processes. My hope is that through this podcast, that you would feel understood, validated in your own processes, and like you have a safe space to be honest and real about what you're experiencing when it comes to pursuing your own goals and dreams, and that you would feel motivated and inspired and practically equipped to actually take the steps needed towards seeing your dreams become more of a reality in your life. I would also love to just have honest, real conversations and personally connect with you if you'd like to. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. Again, my name is Kayla Glaze, and I hope you stick around. Make sure you hit the follow button, the subscribe button. I will be posting on all social media platforms for this podcast. So this podcast is not only on Spotify and Apple Music, but I also have a YouTube channel where you can watch the videos of me talking as I'm recording these podcasts. And I also have an Instagram, a Twitter, and a Facebook page where I will also be posting inspirational quotes and clips and updates about the podcast. So make sure you go follow the podcast on all platforms. All of it is listed under Dare to Dream. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to talk to you soon. Na, 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 na. Na, na, na.